Hello, and welcome back to Who Cares, the Randy Brady Show. And first of all, I would like to thank all of my subscribers, members, and supporters. From the bottom of my heart, I thank you all. Now, last video, I introduced the idea of racism actually being a manifestation of a much larger evil that has been present throughout all of human history. Yes, communism, fascism, racism, whatever altism you can think of, there is nothing new in human history. They are just new modern labels for marketing purposes. That's it. Now, to understand the origins of racism and the evils we associate with racism, we need to define some terms. Yes, this may seem a bit nerdy, and maybe I am a nerd. Oh, it's okay. But definitions are important, so we're all um, thinking on the same page. Now, political is an adjective of, and these definitions are from uh, Webster's dictionary. So, political of or relating to government, a government, or conduct of government, of relating to or concerned with making a distinguished form of administration of government policy. Politics, the activities associated with the governance of a country or other area, especially the debate or conflict among individuals or parties having or hoping to achieve power. Now, keep that in mind as I go along here. Govern, to exercise continuous sovereign authority over, especially to control and direct the making of administration of policy. To rule sovereign, to, to rule without sovereign power, usually with having the authority to determine basic policy. Now, oops, that is a typo. It should read rule with sovereign power. I apologize. And third, to control, direct, or strongly influence the actions or conduct to exert a determining or guidance influence. Now, throughout human history, using guns, knives, spears, swords is an effective way to guide the influence of the population. Can, can we agree on that? And I'll explain that more a bit later. Fascism. Now, when we hear racism and institutional racism in America, is often associated with fascism. Excuse me. Because there is no question that the Nazis were racist or fit our current definition of racist. The Nazis believed in German superiority. All other ethnic groups were inferior. There is no question that the Nazis believed that. And there's no question that their propaganda taught that to kids all through school and university and and so on. However, what communism actually is has not been properly taught, in my opinion. I'm going to show you how communism and fascism are identical, just two different terms for the same thing. And the one difference is only semantics. There is no real difference. So, a communism is most often associated with the USSR, Union of Soviet Socialist Republic, Russia. In 1918, right after World War I, they had a communist revolution. Lenin, who led the revolution, passed away, and then Stalin took over. Lenin Stalin, was every bit as quote unquote racist as Hitler was. Lenin Stalin believed in the superiority of the Russian Slavic people in the very same way that Hitler believed in the superiority of the German people. There is no difference. Now, let me explain. Fascism, a political philosophy, movement, or regime that exalts nation and often race above the individual, and that stands for a centralized autocratic government headed by a dictatorial leader, severe economic and social regimentation, and forcible suppression of opposition. 2. A tendency toward or actual exercise of a strong autocratic or dictatorial control. Okay? That's pretty straightforward. Now, let's look at Webster's definition of communism. A system in which goods are owned in common and are available to all as needed. Okay? Who controls what's common? Hold on to that thought. Theory advocating elimination of private property. If property is not private, then who controls the property? Government. Doctrine based on revolutionary Marxist socialism and Marxist Leninism that was the official ideology of the Soviet Union. And next, to totalitarian system of government in which single authoritarian party controls state-owned production, means of production. Now, that sounds to me like economic regimentation. In fact, Hitler's Germany, Lenin Stalin's Russia, both exercised direct, complete control of the means of production. The semantical difference is in how they exercised that control. In Russia, it is state owned. In Germany, government uh, uh, people were in charge of specific factories, exercising authority over the factory owner. No difference. Opposition was not allowed, not tolerated in both Germany and Russia. Germany, Russia, in order to get the people behind you to support your revolutionary ideas, and yes, Hitler was a revolutionary. He overthrew the democratically elected government, and Lenin overthrew the current government at the time, Tsarist Russia. So they're both revolutionaries. They are identical. Now, to get the support of the population, you have to have a target to demonize and blame. Well, actually, that is the common thinking in political science. However, I will say it this way: you need to create enough victims to support you. Hitler created an entire nation of victims. The Germans were in the situation they're in because the Germans are victimized. And of course, Hitler demonized the Jews, blamed the Jews for victimizing the Germans. And that was the galvanizing propaganda used by Hitler. Lenin, Stalin not only used the Jews in the same way, but the policy of Stalinization. You see, the ethnic Russians are a minority in both geography and population-wise of the Russian population. Most of Russia is in Asia, not Europe. So Stalin had this brilliant idea: since Slavic ethnic Russians are a superior race, he sent Russians to republics and cities all over Russia, all of the republics, to outpopulate the native population. Tell me that's not racist. Tell me that that's any different than Hitler, who we attribute to the ultimate racist. Fact is that they are the same. You see, Lenin, Stalin galvanized the ethnic Russians around the idea of the superiority of the Russian ethnicity and Slavic ethnicity. Post World War II, Stalin launched a propaganda campaign to bind together all of the Slavic Eastern European countries into the Warsaw Pact, it was called. And the propaganda campaign was every bit as racist, every bit propaganda, as anything Hitler ever did. And then clamping down on opposition that Hitler did, no different under Stalin. Absolutely no difference. See, convincing a population enough of the population, convincing them they are victims, and then defining who is doing the victimizing creates the evils we associate with racism. It's back to what I talked about in my past videos, that categorizing humans, mankind, into a value hierarchy is evil. I don't care who is doing it in the name of whatever they're doing it for, doesn't matter. Any um, categorizing of man into a value based hierarchy, I mean, based, and what I mean by that is categorizing people by assigned value. Assigning value to different groups of people, however they are grouped, be it organically grouped, more often artificially grouped. That is evil. That is the root evil, the original evil we associate with racism. But as I explained in this video and past videos, that the evils we associate with racism is not only associated with racism. I have disabilities. My speech, I have others that are well hidden. I've experienced the same evils that we associate with racism. I've experienced those evils personally myself. Now, I hope this provides a better understanding of the origins of the evils we associate with racism. So, what is racism? It is a political term for evils that have plagued humanity, the entire history of humanity, that we now label as racism for political gains. But these evils have been around for the entire history of humanity. And there's no sign they're ever going to go away until the coming of Jesus Christ. And yes, he is coming again. Make no mistake. The rapture is real. Perhaps in a future video, I will discuss that. I look forward to reading your comments. Until next time, have a great day, morning, evening, uh, whichever the case may be. Uh, until next time, goodbye.